What's up, everyone? RedEye's Pais here. Long-distance relationships are not easy. We see that loud and clear in the new film Like Crazy, starring Anton Yelchin and Felicity Jones. I recently sat down with the stars at the Four Seasons Hotel to talk about the movie, long-distance relationships, and lots more.
Don't do it. No. Don't do it. Stay away.
Well, why do you think, long-distance relationships are something that I think most people would say don't work, yet given the opportunity to get into one, people are like, oh, no one else can get it right, but I'm sure we can.
Yeah.
It's like cigarettes or drugs or something. It's like, oh, well, people say it's a bad idea, but I can do it.
Well, I think it's because of having text messages and Skype, and I think technology makes you think you can. Because I'm sure back in the day, when it was like a boat ride to see someone for 2 weeks, then you just, well, there wasn't the same sort of movement around the world, was there? But yeah, having all these inventions makes you feel that you can still have that intimacy, but I think it's a bit of a false notion.
What do you think, Anton? Why do people actually give it a shot, even though they know it's probably going to fail?
I don't know. I think when they're in it, they don't think it's going to fail, like you said, and I think people don't want to lose someone just because of distance, I mean, when they really care about one another, you don't want to say, oh, just because we're going to be different places, we're just going to give it up. I mean, you never want to just give it up, so. I don't even know that Fergie song.
I don't know, but I think it's a good line.
You think that covers missing someone?
Well, because when you're a kid, you really like your blanket and, I guess.
What are the lyrics to Miss You, to the Stones song? I just remember do 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 cause I miss you. Anyway.
Well, Felicity, how do you know when a blanket loves you back?
Oh, I don't know. That's hard. I don't know. Can a blanket love you back? I think it's a pretty unrequited affection that you have for a blanket.
Okay, fair enough.
Blankets are pretty selfless, though, because people...
They're selfish.
They're selfless. You ever seen a blanket at the beginning of a relationship with a baby, and at the end, by the end, it's like a nothing. It's
You're
just
right. No, a blanket's very giving.
Yeah.
It's very giving.
So obviously, Fergie has so much more to say on the issue than Rolling Stones, clearly.
We can't even
Fergie knows what's up. I mean...
you start with the page, really, and you can see... It depends how someone's responding to a situation, and then you create the character from then on. So with Anna, she's obsessive about Jacob, and she pursues the relationship from the very beginning. And that was sort of my starting point in a way, this very forward woman. And I think that comes, and then you look at her background and her family, and she's from a very secure family, and she's got very loving parents, and I think that gives her a lot of confidence in the world to go out there and kind of get what she wants. And then you just keep building on that, and also her being a writer, and that obviously affects the way she interacts. I think she's someone who loves words and seems to speak a lot more than Jacob does. So it's sort of finding clues. I think the best way to describe it is finding clues in the script, and then you create a character from that.
Anton, was it a challenge for you at all? Because as you guys were building this report together, I could see how it would be easy to slip into feeling like, you're just two people enjoying hanging out, getting to know each other, being Anton and Felicity as opposed to, the characters.
No, I think the goal is that you always stay the kid, because if you're not, what you do during the rehearsal period is you work out who these people are and where their relationship is, specific moments, and you do all the homework so that you never leave the framework of who this human being is, and then furthermore the framework of the situation that they're in. And because if you are ever unsure of where the person's at, it's going to become you speaking, whereas you always want to keep it as that human being. And Jacob and I are very different, but it's still the challenge of making sure that you are always within that place. And it's the challenge, but it's also what's so exciting about it, is that you get to live this person's world so intensely.
It would be like a high school movie instead.
Or like a really
crazy.
Like hip, very hip, ironic. It would then become ironic.
Yeah.
Which I think Drake actually is not at all. He's very emotionally connected. He doesn't treat these people with irony or their relationship.
No, he doesn't want the audience to stand outside of them.
Yeah,
he wants you to be involved.
Anton, what would you say to someone who sees like crazy, maybe they're not very romantic for whatever reason, and is like, poor guy, he has to juggle two beautiful women, what a shame.
I'm sure they're right to some degree. I'm sure, you know, I think it's hard if you've never been through that to understand it, but I think most people do get it. I mean, we tend to, as a culture, believe there's one right person for you at all times, but there isn't. I mean, everything is a kind of process and a process of understanding, and I think for that, to that person, I say, fuck you. No, I think no. I mean, I can understand that point though, but to be honest,
but different people bring different things.
Exactly, and in that
you know?
place,
and that's the whole point of the film. It's not trying to be too black and white.
It's not. It's gray, and that's the thing is he loves Sam, but it's not the same as with Anna, and so he can't tell Sam he loves her because it's just he knows there's a different kind of love reserved for someone else, and it's a very difficult. It's an emotionally taxing situation.
I want to see more of Chekhov. Is that your character?
Yeah, that's his name.
What should he be doing?
I think it should all be about Chekhov.
He should be improvising.
I think Chekhov should be improvising a love story in Star Trek.
So what can we expect?
I have no idea. They don't tell me that until I get to actually work. I have no idea.
Do you know when that starts?
At some point next year. It's pretty gray, my understanding of it.
Just by getting naked.
I was like, well, obviously.
She just filmed this scene in her shower. I don't know, it's extremely flattering, but the whole thing just has felt so instinctive all the way, and I'm just lucky to have found Anton and Drake.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I mean, Drake sent me the tape after Felicity auditioned, and I mean, I just thought it was great, you know, and when we got together, it just felt lucky to be on this team together. On this team! Going for the gold!
Team!
But